closing stuff. And I will shut that off in a second here. All right, so let me know when you're on here. I'll shut down some sounds in a minute. So already up on a few things. I did not close out, and I should have. So I'm going to have to close out some. We're at 240 on oil, so I'm going to close off 15. And then I need to change the order stop to match. Let me know that I'm coming through okay. I did not, I should have closed out on these guys instead of coming in and getting the recording going. So I was up on everything across the board and was too busy starting to close. So I'm going to hold the few positions I have on, but these might be negative trades. So the only one right now is the one here that we were up on oil. The rest I was up, and then instead of closing, unfortunately, I was busy trying to start the YouTube. So right now I'm down, and this will be down on the day so far if all these get closed out. So I just got closed out. What happened? Guys, I'm not sure what happened, why my orders were closed. I've been having funky stuff going on with my account. I'm actually going to have to go log into another account because this is a large account. I'm not sure what happened to my orders. Let me back out and see what happens here. It looks like my charting's froze. I've been having some issues and I don't know. Okay, so those were closed out. I'm going to do a test order on one of these just to make sure everything's working. If not, I'll have to log into another account. I don't know what's going back on, what's back or going on, sorry. Yeah. Let me back out of this. We'll try to see what's going on. So I don't know what's going on with some of my accounts. I've had some issues lately. It's been on the TradeAbate account, not Top Step. My Forex.com account's fine. Top Step's okay. I've been having some issues with TradeAbate and not really sure what's going on. So I'm gonna log into TradeAbate real quick and see, because I don't stay logged into that all day long. Morning, John. Yeah, I'm having issues, so I'm gonna log into TradeAbate and see what's going on. I may have to log into one of my other brokerage accounts. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Just bear with me here. I'm gonna talk to myself for a minute. While I try and see what's going on. Yeah, I may have to log into, I'm trying to set up a Forex account, or going to, on TradingView with my Forex broker. Do you have sound now? Let me know if you got sound, if it's okay and coming through. Is that any better, Candace? I can turn this mic up. Does that sound? Looks like that might be better. Let me know if that's okay. My son's been down there. I'm going to have to change my password on this computer. So let me know if the sound's better on that. Okay, yeah, it looks like he turned it down. So I think he's been messing with my computer and doing some YouTube stuff or something. I don't know. Hopefully he's not. I got to look because I know a couple of his games are on here for gaming, and he may actually be doing that. So I don't know. Let's see. Because he actually, I caught him one day. Caught him on camera. So sounds good. All right. We'll should be able to get started here in a minute. Trump does speak in a little bit. Let me log out of Trade-Evate and back in. I may have to just go with a different account, guys, because for some reason my Trade-Evate, I can't even get it to refresh now. I don't like trading through Trade-Evate. I know some people that they do trade through Trade-Evate. I don't like doing it. I'm trying to do a couple test trades in there, and it's not. There we go. All right, so over the last week, done a little bit of mix of scalping and regular trading. And I'm probably going to get into some of that, maybe not today. Those might be more, it's still not doing it. Let me shut down TradingView and start it back up. A couple things I've been experimenting with is one, well, not experiment with scalping, but I've been scalping. I love scalping. I don't do it as much as I used to. So I used to like scalp about every day in the morning and do more scalping than day trading. And it's fun, but you can get taken out very, very fast. Okay. So it's one of those things you just scalping, and you can lose back pretty much everything you've made or go in the negative like really, really fast. So, and I was trying to get Trump on over here, or the news. So you have to be careful with scalping because you could day trade all week, make some good money, Friday scalp, Thursday scalp, whatever, and lose it all back. So you have to be very quick. Scalping's fun. I like doing it still. But like I said, you can go in the negative very fast. You can lose everything you've worked hard to make very, very, very quickly. Okay. So that being said, and I'm trying to fix something else here. So that being said, it's one of those things you have to decide if you're going to scalp or not. Scalping is not for everybody. It's just not. It's riskier. It's very fast, and for some people, it's too fast. So I know you've probably seen some charts out there this week where I was actually on a 15-second time frame. So I usually scalp. If I scalp, it's going to be less than it's going to be a minute or less, are the charts that I'm going to scalp So the day trading, you know, it's 3 minutes is normally the entry, but dropping down to 1 minute sometimes to make sure I can see the moves that are happening on a 3. And then also, what I want to say, sometimes even staying on a 1. Okay. So that's, you know, more day trading. And then scalping, again, a lot of people go down to less than a 1 minute chart. So for me, it's a 1 minute or less. And sometimes I'll go down to that 15-second. I'm still using the indicator, though. So I'm still watching the indicator for my signals. I'm just down on a lower time frame. And that's more for take profit, to take profit quickly. So something I've been experimenting with that I've kind of kept on the back burner was a side add-on. I had it on MetaTrader 4. So MetaTrader 4, I had scripts I wrote where you could literally slide a script on the chart and it would place 2 trades. Because you guys know I'm a firm believer in taking partial profit. We've got to make money on the day. Or what else? Why are we here? All right, I mean, why am I sitting here all day long if I'm not going to lock in profits and make profit on the day? So I wrote some scripts that actually place 2 trades on the chart, take 2 trades. Now with the Forex broker I'm with, they're separate trades. They don't group them together. So that's an advantage I have trading through that platform, that MetaTrader platform, is I actually have buy and sell scripts, and I have regular buy and sell scripts that will place like 10 contracts on a trade. And you have to write this all in advance because you don't want to tweak it. You could have a pop-up that comes up and you can enter how many contracts you want, but it's speed. It's speed and execution you need very, very fast. So basically you slide the script on the chart. Say I've got it open on the euro dollar or Canadian dollar, and I slide it on the chart and boom, it places the trades very fast. I mean, they're instant. It's almost like hitting the sell or buy button here on TradingView. So you slide it on the chart and it places 2 trades for you, okay? It does both, let's say long. You have a long script, you have a short script. You have a long script that will place an order for 8, I'll just say contracts instead of lots, but in Forex it's lots. So let's say we're doing gold or we're doing anything in futures. So you slide the script on the chart and it would place 1 trade with 8 contracts long. It would buy 8 contracts. It would place a second trade with 2 contracts long. The first trade has a take profit level. So that's our daily. It closes partial quickly. And you could set that at 1-to-1 or whatever level you want. So basically for us, it was that dollar goal. Like someone would decide, hey, I want $200 a day, and I'm willing to place 2 trades a day. So the first trade, we'd slide that script on the chart. It places 2 trades. One's to close out 8 contracts when it gets to $100 or $150, whatever your profit target is on your partial. So it places 2 trades. One, and this is just an example. You can set it up however you want. So 8 contracts long with the target of $150. And it will close at the $150. It places that limit order in the opposite direction. So that first trade closes out and gets your daily target. The other has no take profit. Now both have a stop loss. I never place a trade without a stop loss. Never have. Never will. So both of them get placed on a chart. Both of them are buys. One has 8 contracts. One has 2 contracts. Your second trade is your runners. There's no profit target. You're just going to manage it yourself. So I'm trying to build something like that with, you can do that on TradingView. I don't like TradingView, or Tradeovate, sorry. And I don't like trading through Tradeovate. So you can do, you can't do bracket orders with multiple accounts. And but you can set up orders where when on Tradeovate, so you place a trade with 10 contracts. When it gets up X amount, it moves your stop to break even. It also closes out 8 contracts, and then the second set of rules, if it gets to X target again, it will close out 1 and move your stop. And when it gets, you can have multiple sets of rules to actually drain out the whole trade. And the last one, you just keep moving the stop. So you can set that up. I know there's videos out there. I'm not really going to do one on there. I don't know many people that like trading through Tradevate, so I'm not going to do a video on it. There's videos out there on it, setting that up. So it is possible to do. However, you can't do any of that through TradingView. So that's where TradingView is lacking, and TradingView does what the brokers want them to do. So there's brokers all around the world using TradingView as a platform, and unfortunately, TradingView has not taken the lead on multiple orders, take profit levels, any of that. It's up to the broker. So whatever rules the broker wants to implement as far as placing trades, that's what TradingView does for the broker. The brokers pay huge money to have this either embedded in their software or a link to it. Some of them, and they don't even white label. At MetaTrader 4, you could white label the platform. It costs you $100,000 to get it white labeled. And then you could have your own brand name to it. TradingView is not even interested in that. So TradingView, if you notice, if you go out on Top Step and use their platform, it has TradingView in the bottom corner. Yeah, it's got TV on there. You click on it, and it comes out, and it'll, take you out to TradingView. So theirs is actually linked, and it tells you the charting is through TradingView. So it's a relationship that the broker builds with that software company, and the software company does whatever the broker wants. Okay, so looks like I got things fixed. But anyways, what I'm trying to do is do some and I've messed with macros, and you can use macros to do it. The problem is with macros, your charting has to be everybody's charts would have to be in the same spot, unfortunately. So anyways, on scalping, if you're scalping normally, like I said, it's going to be a smaller time frame. And typically I'm going to go down to like a 15-second ticket trade. So sometimes you'll see me scalp and see images of where I've scalped, and those trades might show a 15-second time frame. However, the what do I want to say? The indicators are still set up on a longer term time frame. So when I was scalping the other day, I had it on 15-second for entries, and then I actually had the lower bars set up on 5 and 15. So the upper bar 5 and the bottom 2, I just set them both for 15. Or you could close off the one, close off a bar and just put a 5 and 15. So that's more, of a scalping setup, is to come in and set your bars at like a 5 and 15. And, or you could take the, what do you want to do? You could take the, color the candles, the 5 if you want. But if you just set up like a 5 and 15 like this, basically the bottom 2 bars should match. You're kind of ignoring one of the bottom bars is what you're doing, and looking for that shorter term setup. So you can adjust these however you want. When I get in a trade that's been longer term, I'm going to take this buy here, and I'm on a completely different account, so I got to watch what I do on my orders. I was in short earlier and pulled some profit, but now I'm on a different account. Okay, I don't know if I want to take this buy or wait for a pullback. So we actually have a buy on both ES and Nasdaq, and we never know if we're going to miss them, if they're going to keep going. But as you look at where my stop is, my stop actually should be about down in here somewhere, because it may come back to test this high. So, a lot of times after it pulls and extends up, it comes back. I'm hoping it doesn't, because I'm in it, my stop's kind of tight. So I really don't want to see a pullback. I'd rather see it move since stock market's open. But we do have Trump speaking. So that will probably more than likely play into what happens today on the stock market. So I'm going to move this low to break or delete this one and put a new one. This is from yesterday. I did not delete all my charts. And we actually had, you know, that was a low to break that was on there. This is our high to break, which we've broken. So we need to see it hold above this level. And I'll leave this on here. So the rest of these that I have set up are 15 or 5, 15, and 60. I'm going a little shorter because the 4 hour is great for holding. Okay, so as I'm looking to get into trades, I'm looking to get in on the 5, 15, and 60. Okay, because I'm down on 3-minute trading. You don't have to. I'm looking to get in, looking for closing partial, and then if it starts trending, I'm going to change these back out to 15, 60, and 4 hour. And that's where we'd hope for it to trend further. And then if it trends for the day, then what do? We go on out, and we can go out to the 60. We can go, and I missed the ES. We can go out to 60, and then 240 and 1440, which would be daily. So that's if you get into where it keeps trending. So I almost pulled the trigger on ES and did not. So I don't like chasing entries. Don't like chasing instruments. Right now that's extended to me. So I'd wait for a pullback to get in. So you could always put a safety order above it of 1 or 2 contracts, and then if it just blasts through the roof and keeps going, you're in. However, you can wait for a pullback and then get in. So something we can do is it going to pull back just to, you know, this high to break? Sometimes we see them, you know, pull back into here, you know, like that level. And it's not letting me. What's going on? Why can't I even copy that? Well, guys, it doesn't want to let me do nothing today. There we go, finally. Don't forget about your shortcut keys. So I've already placed trades on, so ES I have a trade, 1 contract. So I'd come out, set that to close 1. I have 4 on gold. We're going to set that to close 3. I have 3 on platinum. It's already set to close 2. So I could quickly just come in and hit the buy button on gold. You know, sell button on Nasdaq to close. Right now they're pulling back, so now I'm going in the negative. So not much action yet. But we could come in. Are you long? You've been trading copper? Yeah, that was a nice trade you had yesterday. MC had phenomenal trade yesterday that just ran and had runners on, which is awesome. I love seeing that. And the runners don't always run, guys. I mean, the instruments have to run in order for our runners to, you know, make money. And they don't always do it. But we still do the same thing. We still leave runners on for that day that they decide they're going to trend. That's why they're there 100%. So they don't always trend. They don't always, you know, give that to us. But on the off chance that today, you know, which was yesterday for MC on that trade, on the off chance that that is going to trend and run, then that's the runners on there to capture that. You don't have to keep trying to get back in. And you don't look back the next day or later that night and go, crap, I was in it. I am going to close off, I'm just going to close off 2 of the, I know it's small, it's 150. On this account, I'm not looking for a lot. So I'm closing out 2. I got about 110 on platinum, which is very small. But this is a smaller account, so we are not trading. I'm only looking to make 500 for the day on this one. So plat, we got 110. What did it say? 110. And I'll go back and verify these at the end. Always want to be up on our lows to break, highs to break. Here's the low to break on gold. So let's see it push past that. If it extends past that, that's when I want to move my stop. So not interested in really moving the stop right now on this. And I don't know where my stop order went on platinum. Anyways, I've been working on a way to speed up the trade. So I did it night before last just to experiment with it, and had the trade window open up over here on the left. So I had to have this open on the left side. And basically, I'm using my numeric pad. So I am ordering a set of quick keys. And this will pop up right here to take a trade if you pop up your trade window. Okay. Yeah, and I was looking for a pullback on ES, and we just haven't gotten it. So I want to see ES pull back before I get in. I'm not looking to get in on it. We just haven't got a pullback yet. I mean, that one candle right here pulled back, and that just wasn't enough. And I was going to put a limit order down here and just decided not to. So we could still do that. We could look for it to pull back. And once it's extended, you know, we always get that pullback. I'm going to close as gold just hit the inside bottom here of this turn. So I think I'm just going to close out 2 on it. So it's up 108. That's not much. That's 50. I'd rather see it push a little bit more. But I think I'll close out once it hits. If it can hit this line, that's really what I'm waiting for, it to hit that low. And then we'll close out. So right now it's at 100. I think I'll close out half. Oh, I added, guys, so I need to close them real quick. All right. That's not what I wanted to do. So I accidentally sold. Instead of closing 2, I accidentally sold 2, which put my order up to 6. So I quickly had to close. So right now, let me set this to match. So this might be a negative on this. It is right now, but that's because the orders moved when I did all that and boggled my trade up. Gonna move the stop down some on platinum as it's pushed past that little low right there, which would be right there. It's pushed past it. The candle closed a little bit past. So I don't want to move my stop too tight because it could, you know, pull right back. Could pull back to test this area over here, or even come back up into this area. So that blue line is the back of a pendant. We'll look at that here in a little bit. All right, so Nasdaq, we're up. I'm gonna just close 3. So we're at 500. And I've got 5 contracts on, so it's a little over. So I'm going to sell 3, which closes out. So we got about 300 in on that first partial. And I just got taken out of oil as it's whipped back. So I don't know if I'll do anything else with oil. I have to go back and look. I'll have to go back in and look at my stop on that. I'm not going to worry about it right now. So Nasdaq closed out, and we need to. So Nasdaq's a little behind moving, behind ES. Put 2 changes to 2 contracts. I am going to pull it up some. And let's see. I need to mark this down because I know I was in oil, so I'll have to look for that loss. So far, I'm glad I did close out 2. I know it wasn't much on gold. I only got 50. On it, and then it'll probably balance out. We got another sell, which is good. We're getting a pullback off the sell. So hopefully it'll make another run at that low and break. This other low is from yesterday, so I'm going to take that one off. Now ES is hanging up there. I should have went ahead and got in, but I was waiting on that pullback, guys. So I missed it. So I'm not in. Missing that. Okay with it because we got it over here on Nasdaq. So, and don't forget, you can always dial down to a 1 minute to see a little better move. So let's dial down to a 1 and see how you get these little, we're getting these little pullbacks, tiny pullbacks and extension. So it's moving, it's making higher highs, higher lows, and there's where the buy signal was if you go back out to the 3. It's just printing 2 because of the time frames down here, switching back and forth. Because remember, these are both on 15-minute down here. And we could do the same with Nasdaq. So watching on a 1 minute, it gives you a little better view of what's going on here. You could see definite swings before it took off. Again, on the 3 minute, it's a little harder to see on both these. It just looks like candles just, they're all bullish, which is great, that we're getting these bullish strong moves. So we want to hold. I'd like to hold these all day if I, or this one, I guess, because I'm not in ES. I'd like to hold this all day. ES, I'd have to wait for a pullback to get in. I'm not going to take this bullish strength and just jump in on it. I'm going to hold gold and see what happens. We're getting a huge pullback on the, on the smaller time frame. My stop is probably right in the way of getting stopped out. If platinum pulls back, it's probably just going to get stopped out. So those were earlier on platinum. I was watching this. Let me get the right chart up. I marked from this point A here to point B, and then marked this point A to point B on platinum. And that was earlier. I was waiting for it to break out one way or another. So it broke with the big candle. And I was over at the coffee shop then. I'm taking my daughter into school now since my wife hurt her back. So I was watching at a coffee shop waiting for it to break out, waiting for a signal. Well, it broke out. Big red candle, sell signal. You better believe I did not jump in because this. It was right at the low. Great candle, great signal. I was waiting on a pullback. Well, when it pulled back up, no red candle. I was looking for it to pull back and bounce and give me a red candle. So that's our traditional entry. So the signals are here to take to let you know that things might be turning, to let you know that you might want to get in. But we still have to look at highs and lows, okay? Because in this case, I had a low over here. So we had this low, and that candle closed right there by it. There's not enough room in there for me to close, to take that trade after that red signal. They're just that red candle and the sell signal. So I didn't take it. I'm waiting on a pullback. Waiting on a pullback, bounce, red candle. So we're waiting on it to pull back, and bounce, give us a red candle, then we'll take it. Because now it's showing that downward momentum. Well, then when we had these big bullish candles, well, that's the bullish side of the market taking over. So there's no way I was jumping in on that. I'm like, nope, we got a battle going on. It's before, it was after or right before the Forex market kicks in, way before the U.S. stock market, and just not looking for it to get in. And then, of course, we had Trump speaking, or supposed to speak. So I didn't get in till over here. And that's the one we're in on. So again, you just got to kind of be careful and watch the signs. I hear a lot of people talk about price action. That's what we're trading. We're trading price action, just not real aggressive like a scalper would. So we're still trading price action. The price, the instrument's making moves. Price is pushing down, pulling back, pushing down, pulling back. Those are the actionable moves of the instrument. Okay. So we're up good on both platinum here. Nasdaq, I'm going to move the stop up to a break even. I don't know why, guys, but you could set your platform up here in the unless somebody knows it's something I'm not doing right. You could set it up in here where your where's it at? It's in there somewhere. Where your orders don't cover, but for some reason they do. I got to right click and go here, no overlap. So no matter how you set it up in the platform, it's still overlapping. So we're up 384. We lost some back on oil, and then we got, what did we get? 110 on platinum, and we're up another 95. NQ, we closed at 302, it looks like. I don't have my lights on down there. 302. And we have another 3 sitting. So I'm well over the 5. Yeah, 110 on platinum, like 302, 300 on Nasdaq, so that's 410. And then I could close out and be done for the day. So there's another 440 down there in the bottom corner sitting. So we could close and be done on the day. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to close one of the Nasdaq, and I'll just move my order out of the way. So we're up 342, and we'll just sell one off, 355, 360, 370. So we closed one and it said 180. So we locked in 180 on the other one. So 180 and 302, 482. I think it's a 2, not a 3. So 110 on platinum and 482 on Nasdaq. Good on the day. Again, on this account, only looking for 500. So I've met my daily goal already. I'm not looking to get in oil, guys. It's screaming. And we had a buy, and that buy was a break of a trade line. So you'd have a trade line down here on the way down, and that buy came right when it broke that. Too close for me, and also on the higher time frame, we've got an old trade line there, trend line, that it's been breaking, that red one. So missed that move. Okay with that. And again, I don't like getting in on the extensions. I'm fine putting a pending order, but getting in on an extension, that's not the best price to get in, or best place to get in. Getting in here when this closed, your stop loss technically should be way down here. So I like to wait on that pullback to get in. All right, so we're going to have to do something with, so NASDAQ, I need to change this. And so I'm good on NASDAQ, I can walk away. We locked in, what, 482 on NASDAQ. Stop's good. I want to back it back up. I just moved it there out of the way so you guys could see what we still had in the hole down here. But I had it here just to break even. And that's what I want to do. I want to leave it the room. We'll give it room to go. I'm going to draw a trade line here in a minute. But I need to do something down here with platinum. So platinum, we're up 130. Again, I closed out, what did we do? I had 3 contracts, closed out 2 at 100, or 110 I locked in. And now I have 1 at 125. So I'm okay with that. I went in lighter. I went in with 3 contracts on platinum. That's about as light as, you know, you can go with 1, and it's hard to close partial. So right now, since we've had that push, you know, past this low, it played with it for a while. It closed below it, but that one green candle pushed back up. Another run at it, another 3-minute candle run at that low. It just failed to break it, failed to close past it. And then this one finally closed past it. So making a lower low. So I can move my stop down on it. And I want to kind of give it room as out my left eye I can see oil just screaming. Hate when we miss it, but don't take it when it's extended. And you can, guys. You could luck out. I call that more of a lucky trade. If I go in with, if I wanted to go in with oil right now, you realize you're late on the move, you're getting in late, it's super, super risky. If you do it, you're scalping. I mean, you're hoping it goes up. So if I wanted to do that move, I wouldn't go in with 5 on this account. I'd probably go in with 2, super tight stop, and just know that I'm throwing money out there. I mean, you're literally just throwing money at it, and definitely drop to a 1 minute, because there you can see the, the move up a little better. But you're really, really just throwing money at the market. Super tight for scalping, because I've had people send me questions on scalping. It's up to you where you put your stop. Some people will use candles. The candle opens in this case. So since it's bullish, we're getting a bullish sweep up. They're using the bottom of a previous candle. So if they took it right now long, they would actually put the stop right here. Okay? Just right under that previous candle. You're going to go with tight stops if you're scalping. You're going to see more losses, but you're going to have more trades on. So with scalping, sometimes I'll sit there and I'll have 20, 30, 40, trades, especially since the broker platform here with Trade-Evade doesn't group them together. If you close partial, it looks like a separate trade. So if you are scalping, then again, use a super tight stop. So it goes against what we normally trade. Those are from yesterday. And you guys let me know if anyone's taken that. And I will do some sessions where I do scalp. I don't want to get into the mix of it today because my mind's not set for scalping right now. I'm set for more day trading. And on this account, it's one that I only shoot for 500 on the day. So the trading I did the other day was on the account where I'm shooting for 5,000 a day. That's a big goal. And then I don't trade that every day. I know it. I don't know how you guys think about it, but for me, it's bigger losses. I know one of the trades I did last night on it. So I had a trade that was almost 20K, and then a little $5,000 trade. I had a $3,500 loss, a $1,200 loss, and then like a $750, 5 something, and 3 something. So, with bigger gains, bigger losses, bigger targets, that's just the way it is. So you're taking the same risk. I'm always taking the same risk. It's just you're adjusting for your account size is all it is. It is very hard to get used to because your mind, when I started trading, it was like I put up $100 per trade. That's all I wanted to do, 100. Then it was 200. Then it was 400. So as your account grows, you're putting on more contracts. Well, as you're putting on more contracts, your stops remain the same, but that means your risk keeps growing. Now we're starting to get our pullbacks. And then, so what we're looking for here on the pullbacks is we're looking for lows to break. So we'd have like a low on ES, Nasdaq. We're looking for those lows, and then we look for a sweep below those lows, back down to a previous high. So I might get stopped down on Nasdaq because my order's right there at that high. So that's where I'd look for a bounce. So I kind of pulled it tight, but I don't want to take a loss on it. So against the gains. But as your account grows, you're still trading the same. You're still taking the same entries, still managing your stop the same. Everything you're doing, it should be the same thought process exactly. You're just, instead of risking 100 from when you started, a year or two later, you're risking 1,000 per trade. And then you get to where your risk, and that plays with your mind. A hurdle for me was 500. You'll realize when it's a hurdle. Because you get to a point, you should be growing your account exponentially. So you have a 20. When I started, You know, it was $20,000 open an account. And then, so you open an account with, say, 10,000. You're risking 100 per trade. We got to pull back on oil. So we're not going to get a buy signal because it hasn't pulled back deep enough. So if you were thinking about buying an oil, this is a valid entry right here. We're starting to see where the sellers are still in control right now because they're pushing down. That's what these wicks are. I mean, the sellers are definitely wanting to push it lower, but they're having a little bit of problem as the bullish side of the market's kind of kicked in. So this is not the time yet for me to enter because we've had a big, huge bullish move up. So this is a big, huge bullish move, and then we're getting a pullback on that. So is the bullish side of the market still in control? You know, or are we going to see it pull deeper? So that would be, I would want to see a green candle to get in, and on the 1 minute, it's a little riskier than like a 3 as you're looking at that. You're just seeing one candle sweep down on the 3. So, but again, as your account grows, then you're going to increase your contract size. So let's say $10,000 Forex account, you know, future account, whatever, and you're putting 10 contracts on. Well, if your account gets to 11,000, you can put 11 contracts on. 12,000, you put 12. If you lose money, you should do the same thing. So if you have a $10,000 account and you're doing 10 contracts, you know, 10 micros, well then, if you lose 1,000, you get down to 9,000, you should do 9 contracts. You should raise and lower your max contract size. And that's your maximum that you're allowing yourself. And then, of course, if the trade's only, you know, an 80% setup, well, then you're going to drop back a couple contracts even off that because it's not a great setup, not an A+ or 100% setup. But that should be your thought process on that. And you'll hit roadblocks. The first one for me, I would have liked to have added more on here. We're getting a red candle on gold. So we had a nice pullback, still sells. You know, down here on the bottom, we're still seeing red across the board. So that would be an entry short, but I'm already in it and in the negative. So I don't want to add to that. I don't like added and negative positions. Most brokers only allow you to do that once if you've never tried it or done it. Like how ES and Nasdaq broke their highs. So they've both broken through and closed on the other side, so that's good for our bearish move up on Nasdaq. Watch and see if oil bounces here and breaks this low, or is it going to break the high? Because it's going to get tight in here, or should get tight in here. I don't think it's done pulling back. However, I have no clue. It might not be. It remains to be seen. So you cannot predict what is going to happen. I don't know anybody that can predict the moves. And we got stopped out on platinum. On the runner. So we had one runner on that. I'll have to go look at what we got stopped out on that one. Because that one was not to back to break even yet. So I did move my stop some, but I guess I could do this. There we go. Now we can see all our entries. So, yeah, platinum we had, what, 3 on up here from this sell. And then the price is there. So I got stopped. We put the order on at 995.3. And this is, we got stopped out. I got stopped out on the one runner, 995.9. So I got stopped out at like 0.6. So a little bit of a negative on that. I'll have to go look at what the negative was on it. So not much. Didn't lose back. So we locked in 110 on platinum by closing these two. And then you look at this and you go, well, I'm glad I closed the 2, where I did. Because it tried to break this, finally looked like it was closed. I thought it was going to keep running. Well, when it came back to test that level, it just popped back through. Came all the way back to test this high, previous high. So, but anyways, 500 was a roadblock for me, because, and how you realize it is when your account grows. So let's just say you were up to 12,000 and you're putting 500 risk on. And then, but now you make money on your trades and you get up to 16,000 and you're still only risking 500. You get up to 20,000 and you're still only risking 500. Well, then you realize, well, 500 is my mental roadblock. I'm not willing to risk over 500 yet on a trade. And so you'll realize them, and it is hard to get through. So what I recommend doing is, I don't care if it's me, I'll be there for you to do it, or if it's someone else. You need to find someone that you can check in with, and on a regular basis, at least monthly, if not weekly, and go, well, are you maximizing your account growth? Are you multiplying as your account grows? Are your contract sizes growing that you're putting on? Because you're going to place the same trade. So as your account grows and gets to 15,000 or 20,000, you're going to bump your contract size up, which means your loss is going to bump up. You're using the same stop loss. Same stop loss you used when you placed a $100 risk, okay, to make whatever, 100, 150, 200, but you're still using the same stop loss. But now you're putting on more contracts. So now it's a $200 risk, more contracts, $500 risk. You freeze every trade. You're like, nope, I'm only going with 15 contracts, $500 risk. It's a roadblock. It's something you have, because if your account's still growing, you want to grow exponentially. The only way it grows exponentially is if you keep increasing your contract size. And that's in that video I did, where you're only looking for a couple trades a day. As your account grows, you're going to bump your contracts up. So, find a friend, buddy, whatever. I'll do it for you. You need to find someone that's going to check in with you, or you can check in with and go, but they're going to talk to you. Because I used to do that all the time with the people in my group. It's like, dude, your account's grown $2,000, but you're still trading with 10 contracts. Your account's grown $4,000. You're still trading with 10 contracts. Your account's grown $10,000, but you're still only trading with 10 contracts. If you want to grow it exponentially and see a huge increase, well, then you'd bump that contract size up. And there's nothing wrong with staying if that's where you want to be, but most people would like to see it grow exponentially. And you just hit mental roadblocks. So find somebody that'll help you with that. Like I said, I'll do it. Anyone in here, I think, would do it in our Discord. Just that you check in with, and you're going, you know what? Because 500 will hit, and then it'll be 1,000. My next one was 1,000. Well, 750. 750 for some reason I didn't want to. I'm like, man, that's $750 I'm putting up risk. And then it was 1,000. Once I got to 1,000, it wasn't really hard to go to like 1,500 or 2,000. It really wasn't, because I was seeing what I was locking in. Yeah, I'm risking 1,000, but to make 2,000. 5,000 was a huge struggle to get past. Huge. I got well, on 3,000 I kind of had issues. But when I got used to 3,000 risk, because of what I was locking in. Same trades, just a little more money. And that's why a lot of people, you'll see some people put their profit and loss on, instead of dollars, do ticks. It's to try and get past that mental. But for me, you still know. You still know where it's at, even if you watch ticks. But you put it on ticks, so you try and avoid that thought of, man, I'm down, $400. If I place a trade, my stop loss is up here. I picked my stop loss area for a reason. You have to be 100% totally fine with that. You just have to. You place the stop where you place it. You had your reasons. You keep it there. I'm not going to bail if it pulls back on these. Now this one's kind of screwed up here on gold because what did I have on? I had on 4 and I went to close out 2, and instead of hitting the buy button, I hit the sell button. And that's something else I'm trying to get around. So what I did the other day, and I was playing with it last night and night before, was basically I'm using my hotkeys on my keyboard and my numeric pad. So, you know, you got 7, 8, 9 across top, 4, 5, 6. 7 was my buy button on gold. 4 was my sell button on gold. And then we had a buy and sell button on ES, which was 8 and 5. And then we had, I had Bitcoin up here on the top right. And my buy button was 9 and my sell button was 8. But you have to lock it up with so much. It's set to a certain amount of contract size. So I had them placing 10. So what the thing did was if you clicked on ES, so I'm not in ES, so we'll use that. So if I clicked the number 8 on the numeric pad, it would come in. This would be set to 10. Okay. If you pressed 8 on the keypad, it would come in and it would open the trade window. Okay. It would make sure it's on order, not DOM. In case you had it open to that, it would hit order, it would hit buy, it would hit market, it would make sure this amount's 10, it would put a stop loss, and it would make sure this was set at 150. And then it would trigger the buy, and then immediately it would come over here and drop this down 2, no matter what it was. So if you set it up to place 20 contracts, I could set this up to drop 4, but it would immediately drop to 2. Now, why is it dropping to 2? Because I just placed a buy order for 10. It drops this number down from a 10 to a 2. So it would come in and automatically drop that down to an 8 because we want to close partial. So now I'm set to partial. So very fast. So that's what I'm looking to add on, or what I'm working on right now I'd love to get that implemented in here. It's probably going to, you can't do it in TradingView. So I'm working with like the broker APIs, as well as it'll probably be a side panel. It will, kind of look like this on the side, but it won't be in TradingView. It would be a side panel you would have to open and have next to TradingView. So you would shrink TradingView and you would put this side panel, over on the side. It would be a total standalone software is what it's going to be. It's just going to send the orders through. But it would just have buy and sell buttons. So what you would do is you would come in, it will have more than one instrument. It'll have however many you have open. If I have 6 instruments open here, I want to be able to set up the 6 instruments over here. So what I want to do is be able to put in contract size, your initial contract size, because if I'm on platinum, I don't want 10. If I have platinum on there, I don't want 10, I want 3. And I want it to come in, and when I place the order, that's going to be at a 3. I want the software to come in, click that, and drop 1, and it's ready to close. Okay? So initially, that's what I want to do, is I'm trying to set it up to where it has the multiple instruments. Whatever you have open, it will have those instruments open here. It'll have buy and sell buttons, and it will have contract size and stop loss. And that's initially how I want to set it up. Eventually, we'll have it set up to, and I got to be careful because this is set to possibly place trades if I click those. But that's how I want to set it up and to have closed partial. So it's more speed. So once I do that, the other thing is trying to get it to use your speed keys, your quick keys. So with trading or with MetaTrader 4, we had that. We had that capability to close partial out with the hotkey and all that. TradingView has a few hotkeys. You can buy and sell with a hotkey, and you can also do limit orders with hotkeys. You cannot do stop orders. If you want to do a stop order on TradingView, you have to come in here and use the DOM. That's the way to do a stop order. So what I've had to do is I've had to write the script to come in and place that trade without a take profit, and then I've had to have it come back in. It's actually manually opening up this, hitting DOM, and it's placing a stop order for you of how X amount of contracts to close out in the opposite direction. So it's a bit of a project, but I want to get those hotkeys back. It's very hard as I've been scalping the last couple weeks here and there and taking a day or two to scalp and get it out of my system. It's been very hard doing it through TradingView just because there's so many steps. You know, I could preset this to 10 on ES, and when I want to get in on a pullback, I'll go ahead and hit buy, and we'll buy 10. All right, so I just bought 10. I have to come in here. I have to set that to close 8. I have to come in here, and I have to come down and put a stop loss in of 10. I shouldn't have changed that yet. So you place the trade, come down here, put your sell stop in, and then come up here and hit 8. So I'm doing that manually. And that's okay if you're trading one instrument. But try trading 6 and doing that. It's a lot to do. So trying to come up with a quicker way to do that. I think on Nasdaq we'll move the stop up. So it's moved up quite a bit. You know, we had this extension, sat sideways for a while, wicked down to try and close below this low. Previous low didn't. Popped up above this previous high, sat there for a while. We had another extension. So it's had great moves so far. Really not a lot of pullback until now, because every time it's extended, so it extended and sat sideways, extended, sat sideways, extended, and it's pulled back. So it could pull back deeper, but we have another buy signal there. So I'm looking, is that our bounce we're getting? Still haven't drawn a trend line. We can look to draw a trend line or trade line, but we're up 240 on it. So I want to move my stop. This to me is a good place to put it, as it may come back down to test this area, you know, as support. I don't know if it will. Right now it's pulled down, and right now it looks like this area might hold up. Okay, I really think it's going to pull past it and come down, test this area. So need to keep my stop down below it. If I go below this wick, that's okay, but it could just wick down a little bit lower and take me out. So you're never going to be able to get it exact. I'm up, what, 214 where it is now, and I'm not quite 50% of the way. So my stop's not quite 50%. So I'll get about, you know, 200 or 100. Yeah, about 100 if it pulls back and stops me out. And I'm okay with that because we've already locked in 482. So there's my 582 just on that. And then, of course, we got the 110 on platinum with the little loss back. Oil gave us a bounce. I did not get in. Did anyone take this bounce on oil? That was our bounce. And then we had a buy. So if I got in now, it'd be super, super light. 10:35. Trump will be speaking here. Let's see here. This is not giving me what I want here. It's not. I'm typing something else, guys. You guys are quiet today. Alright, we'll wait on that to load. I cannot see my orders on... I'm going to have to move my chart down here. Can't see how much we're up. We're up 262 on ES. So I know I'm offset on these guys. I'm putting my stop where it is on the swing low, but I'm up 262. So I am going to sell off. We're up 325. We'll close off 8. And now I need to adjust this down to a 1 to set myself up to close the other. We're going to move our stop up. I'm going to move it tight. Don't really want to lose anything back. We're already negative on the runner on gold, so I don't want to add to that. And I missed the one on oil. I wasn't watching. We had the buy signal, so I hope somebody got it. We're looking at Nasdaq and ES both at their highs. So we have ES here. So I might lose back a little. I move my stop a little, tighter on ES, and I'm okay with taking, and I'm accepting that potential loss on my runners. So we have definite highs in here on both these swings on Nasdaq and ES. I know what I want to open up. I need to open up Trade Debate back up. I have not traded through TradingView today. Or Top Step, sorry. I like Top Step trading because it allows you to just drag the stop loss when you place the order. So I do like that aspect of it. Let's see. I'm going to pull a report. They must be busy over there, their software. It's taking forever for this Trade Debate report to print. And I gotta watch some of these. There goes oil. Yeah, I'm not sure why this is taking forever to pull up. I want to pull up and see what I lost on that platinum trade. May have to wait. It does not want to print the report. All right, so we're having issues breaking the highs. Doesn't mean they're not going to. So this would be a double top turn if they break the low. So right now they basically hit the high, made a high, pulled back, hit the high, and if they don't break it and it goes past the low, well then that's your structure building up bearish, for that deeper move down. And you'll see people refer to it as a double top. Now we're on a 1 minute. If you drop down to 3. you can see how it, you know, is right there again. So you can still see it on 3. If you go to a higher time frame, it's not going to look like that. It's not going to look like a double top. You can't, on the 15-minute chart, you can't see this as that. And that's part of why a long time ago I dropped from the 15-minute chart. Is you're not seeing I'm seeing good bullish candles, and you can get in on that. There, it looks like it came up. But it's harder to see the moves on lower time frames. So we'll see what they both do. Gold's pulled back, so since it's broke this high, looking for it to get stopped down on it. And that is not. So we're up 932 on the day so far, with the $30 realized loss. So that should have been on platinum. So we locked in 80 on platinum initially, gold 44, gold again 52, and then Nasdaq 3 closed at 330, Nasdaq 1 closed at 186. Platinum, the runner, closed at -30. So, and the first two, it closed at 80. I was kind of guessing when I said 110. So that was 80. That's why I go back over the reports later and look for the totals. And then closed out, like I said, 30 on the negative. So 80 on the first two closed on platinum, and then 30 loss back on the runner. So that's only 50 on platinum for the day. And then ES, where I just closed out 8 at ES, that was 270. So right now, it's 932 as the profit and loss on a day. So again, I'm only looking for 500 on it. I can live with the 932. And we're going to lose some back here on because gold's going to hit that stop. Unless this candle does something else. So I don't know if I'll look to take any more trades. It's 11:45. We'll see. But anyways, when you're scalping, speed is execution of your entries. Your speed is like crucial. Yeah, John, and I'll give you guys that trade sheet. I've just adapted it over the years. So way back in 2016 or 2006, that trade sheet was just for these manual entries. Like here on oil, you know, that pullback, we get a buy signal. Well, I wouldn't have had the buy signal. I'm just watching for it to pull back. You know, and so during that retracement, we're looking for turn. I was using Fibonacci's, looking at it to turn it like a 25%, you know, 23.8%, 5.0, or the 618. Those are Fibonacci levels. The two. So I'm looking for it to pull back, and if it pulls back to like the 50% and 61.8% level on the fibs, I was getting in with more contracts. If it pulls deeper than the 618. There's a 75% level, but if it pulled deeper than the 618, I would still have my stop below that. So I was taking that, you know, 61.8% entry on a fib turn with more contracts because it had pulled down to that level. 50% level, I wouldn't put, you know, as many contracts on because I know it could pull deeper. Even at the 618, you'd have it pull back to 75% or even deeper and turn completely, and you were taking a loss. So those are the entries we were taking, and that was on the sheet. So I've adapted that sheet. I still have that old one if you're interested in that one. And then the only thing I've adapted it to now is this right here, where basically the indicator, you're using it to hold on. You're using it to hold runners. Yes, it gives you buy and sell signals. You have to decide whether you're going to take that signal. You look at this right now, And you go, well, if I would have took the buy signal here, yes, it panned out. If I would take the buy signal here, yes, it panned out. But we had a couple sell signals earlier, but it was in a downward move. So you're not always going to catch the one. You know, we had a sell signal here. If you got it, yep. Look at that, good trade. Sell signals in there, yep, good trade. Sell signals in there, yep, good trade. This sell signal just came at the end of the move. It just didn't go break the low. So you have to decide for yourself, are you going to take it right when a sell signal comes up? And as I'm talking, I realize that you guys can't see because it's behind my head. So again, sell signal goes, sell signals goes, sell signals goes. The last sell signal that came up, is it a valid sell signal? It is. This sell signal meets the same criteria as these and this one. It's the same criteria. Everything's lined up. It just, the instrument doesn't go after that. So you have to decide, are you going to take the sell signal when it signals, wait for a pullback? You have to decide that for yourself. Everybody's a little different. I will tell you on the pullbacks, if you look, a lot of times the sell signals will come when a trend line's broken, retracement line's broken. So if you draw, and not always, but if I draw a retracement line from here to here, you know, sell signal was after that break, you know. So, and it doesn't always look that good, trust me. You can watch and see. This one here, we had a buy signal, and it just cranked, you know, and that buy signal came at 10 o'clock. So it just took off after that. We've had a retracement that took off. So basically, though, the bottom indicator, or the whole setup of the indicator, is to help you hold on. We're looking for that confirmation that we can go ahead and hold our runners, basically, for that longer time frame. Let's see. So we lost back. I just want to see where we are on the day. So we're 768 on the day now because of that gold loss. So on gold, locked in 44 and then locked in 52. So on gold, it was up 96. And then it just closed out the runners at 168. So I lost back about 90, about 70, 80. Yeah, about 80, 70 or 80 on gold. In the negative so far as a whole on gold. I'll print that report by itself and look at it. Contracts, we want micro gold. And we'll run a report. All right. So we're continually getting sells on platinum. I just don't know if I want to take those. I don't know what MC thinks about that. So see, we've had both ES and Nasdaq pulling down through those highs. I meant to close one out on ES when it broke, but I didn't. And I'll move the stop some. That's probably too tight on the stop on that. We'll probably get stopped out and it might continue to move. So, yeah, on gold, I'm down 72. So right now, gold loss for me today is 72. So at the end of the day, I'll run each report separate per instrument. And then you know, I'll mark up where I'm at. Let me write those down, actually. So gold. It just takes a while to run each one separate. And I missed, you know, I thought about taking plat, but I don't know. It's hitting the previous low, or working on it, getting down there. So right now it's at this inside bottom, and of course the low's down here, the wick low. So don't be surprised if it turns here at this inside bottom. which is pretty much right where it's at. I don't know why it's not wanting to draw that. There we go. So that's the inside bottom right now. So good on the day, though. Let's see. Picked the wrong platinum contract. So gold's kind of, I don't like where gold is right now as far as the signal indicator. I think it's going to pull down further, but I don't think we'll get another sell because everything's, you know, starting to turn green on it. So you'd have to be very cautious with gold because we may see it bounce here as it's really testing these two highs. Here, this high right here and this one. So platinum, platinum we only got 50. So I was up 80, and then the negative is 30, and platinum's at 50. So that almost wiped out the gold, negative 72. What else would we do? Oh, I know. Wish they made it easier to run these stupid things. I just want a one-off button for everything. Alright, guys. Exciting, isn't it? Don't let me do all the talking. MC, what's that in? Is that on copper? What got you to trading copper? I'm curious. I meant to ask you that the other day. Because I know you were looking for a second instrument, and I think, weren't you messing with oil for a little bit? I believe. I just kind of curious what got you in to that. We're sitting here with 304 in the hole, so we're still good. So we're now starting to try and print a buy up here. We need to wait for this candle to close on gold. So I'm locking in 6, getting 6 ready. I'd look to place my stop below this low. So I can go ahead and put the stop order in because I know I'm getting ready to take a buy. So I could put the stop order on. The only reason I can is because that's where I'm going to place my stop is below that low. So I'm really just waiting on this candle to close, which we got like it just closed. So I'm going to go ahead and buy 6. And then in the hole here, I'm going to get ready to close 4. And my stop, I want to do it kind of aggressive below that. Let me take my orders off this. That's why I don't like them on the chart all the time. It's not to hide the executions. It's not to hide anything. It just, they get in the way. See how cleaner that looks without the executions on there? So we're not looking to get even with gold. I'm trading gold. There's a big difference. We're not revenge trading. So back to pulling reports. So looking for, you know, again, we're looking for a couple $100. You know, trading the instruments I'm trading, we're looking at 6. If I can get into each instrument and just make 100, I'm happy with that. Because again, I'm just looking for that 500 per day on this account. MNQ. So MNQ, the profit and loss statement on it right now shows 516 on NQ. So 516 in the positive on NQ with no negative draw against it. Now we've got our stop, or I've got my stop moved better than break even. So I can't lose anything back on NQ, and I've got 516. So NQ really did everything for me today. Okay. And then I'll pull one on ES. ES is the only one I haven't pulled one on yet. Euro. I don't know why these are going back and forth on me. It's not letting me pull these. So we're 270 on ES. So Nasdaq, well, gold down 72, and then platinum up 50, Nasdaq up 516 with the stop better than break even. So I love that. And then ES positive 270, and I'm okay taking, you know, whatever loss I may get into on it, which, judging where the price is compared to the order, you know, right now we're at break even, so we'll might lose it back about 50. We'll see. And then I was looking to close out some in gold, but I'd like to see it pop a little bit. So I'm ready to close 4 on gold. 1 on ES if it gets back up there, and we might be getting a sell here, guys, on ES. Imagine that coming right before it takes me out. So I'm down 32. So yeah, see, I said I might lose back about 50, and okay with that. ES, we got 270. So if I lose back, you know, the 70, 50, 70, whatever it's going to be, I'm okay with that. So I had my stop where it was. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see ES pop down to that wick right here and then turn and then just keep going back up. So, and then still not in oil. And oil's popping, guys. Again. So that's the one I missed for the day. I'm glad I got in what I got in. And then, yeah, you're going to miss some. We can't get them all. Shove this down there. Okay. Oh, you should be able to find Trump's speech always on it, like a YouTube live. I mean, he's on there now speaking. I can't have the volume up here because if I do, it'll echo back through the speakers. I'd have to have headphones on or something. But he is on YouTube live. I'll pop a link in there. Sorry about that. I meant to do that earlier. Pop the link. I think, Candace, you found it, right? Yeah. Yeah, this one's the live. Yeah. Yeah, you can typically always find it on. I go to that link right there. See where it's live now from Fox. You can subscribe to that channel if you want. I'm not even as, I don't even subscribe to it. I just know that live now from Fox, that channel has him all the time on there, and they'll have they'll have all the speakers on there. You know, like PAL and stuff like that. They cover all that. So that is a good channel to subscribe to hear what's going on in the market. I'm sure there's others. Bloomberg's on right now. If I click on their live, they might have him on. I don't know. Oh, yeah, Bloomberg's got him on too. And both the same video quality, which I would expect. They had a shooting in the Troy hospital. Was that today? Can't be. Well, that's not good. That's not like right near me, but yeah, either Bloomberg or that one of the two. And I think she's switched. He might be done speaking. No, he's still speaking on Bloomberg. I don't think it's delayed. I'm gonna pop the Bloomberg link in there too, guys, because I'm busy. I'll be busy watching trades, but there he is. I mean, that's live now. I think the other went off of him. Yeah, so you might want to catch him on that one, on the Bloomberg, and they might even switch off of him. It looks like might be done with Trump, or they might be talking about. Again, I'm not listening, so because it'll just echo through the speakers. All right, so I'm out on ES. So remember I said I put my stop tight on ES. So I'd have to go back over here to trade of 8 and run a report. To see where our total is. Still in the gold trade. It just hasn't gone anywhere. You know, it's made higher highs, higher lows. Got a buy signal, so we'll see how it pounds out. Sell signal on ES, and I noticed the indicator popped off the chart, so I need to refresh that. So we're getting a sell signal on both ES and NQ. Trying to decide if I want to close that out. Let's close out, just because I have a sell signal here on Nasdaq. I don't want to give back profit against a sell signal. Okay, so I'm up 206 on it. If I sit here right now, if I'm trading these signals and I'm buying when it says buy, sell when it says sell, should I not be thinking of selling? I should. If I sit through that right now on Nasdaq and just sit here and say, well, I moved my stop where I moved it, I'm just going to let it ride. Well, I'm trading against I'm hoping against the sell signal that won't pan out. I don't know if it's going to pan out or not. So I'm going to go ahead and close the profit at 215 on there, and we'll just close out Nasdaq. So now I can look, and I have to decide, do I want to sell? If I want to sell these signals, I'm going to go lighter on contracts with, say, like 4 or 5. I don't want to put in the 10 that we did, you know, on the way up, you know, back here. Well, actually, I only put in 5. I only put in 5 here. So I don't want to go that high. I'd want to go less contracts. Okay? And then wait for a pullback and get in. So I'm not in either of these yet. We'll see how they kind of... Because right now I'm in gold. I don't want to take back losses on the day. We're sitting pretty, right? So now we're in that capital preservation mode. I don't know why when I run the first report it does not have the numbers, and then I'll rerun it and it will. It's like it doesn't set or something. All right, so 7:30 on the day on NQ. So, you know, 7:30 on the day on NQ. 270 on ES. Or did I rerun ES? Let me rerun it. $230. Yeah, we had that little $40 runner loss. So 730 NQ, 230 ES. So that's almost 1,000 right there. 50 on platinum and negative 72 on gold so far. So I really don't have to get anything. If I do, I'm risking back what I already have. I'm going to pull a report that has the total. Actually, I don't have to pull the report. I can just look at the account. So right now I'm up 905, 911, 917. So I'm up 900 on the day with where everything's at. So I think that's good. Again, looking for 500. So I'm not looking to kill it on the, not on this account. Yeah, I always forget sometimes to pop the links in here for you guys. So this is good on the day. We'll see what gold does here. It hasn't even gotten up to $100 yet. And again, I'm already set to close out 4 on them. The only thing I'd possibly want to do is consider moving my stop as it, you know, breaks highs and lows. If it's not going to give me the money I need on these pushes, you know, like that's, you know, it closed above that a little, came back to test it, but then it's trying to break it now. So being that it's trying to break it, if you look at each move, we had a good sweep up, but look at the pullback, a nice hefty pullback, you know, a couple candles up, really hefty pullback, you know, over, you know, 50%. And that's where you're pulling those fibs. I don't use fibs as much anymore because typically you can visually see how far it pulls back. So if I pulled fibs from you pull them from a low to a high. So we had nice bullish candles printing here on the way up. You'd pull a fib level from here to up here. And you'll see that this pullback is at over 25%. Okay. So it looks like that pullback is over 25% of this sweep up. So that's probably hit the 31.8% fib retracement level. Okay, then you got this move from this candle here, the wick of it, up to here. Okay, so this candle wick up to here, that move, well, look at how far it pulled back. It pulled back to about the 50% fib level. So I don't really draw them anymore. I used to use them like every trade. Again, I pull from the low to the high, sweep, and look at that level to change. Now, right now, of course, we're using the tool. I'd have to reset it. I think that's my fibs because I changed it around because theirs is not set up right. Theirs is kind of backwards the way they set up. So again, you're looking at this low here to this high up here. That's how you're going to use the fib tool. And it comes with your retracement levels as well as your extension levels. Send it to the back. So again, the bottom of the move to the top of the move, you draw your fib tool. You extend it to the right. and then you're looking for it to turn at one of those levels. And that's why I said it looked like it had pulled back. I knew it was not 25%, but it was more. So turning at the 38.2% fib level. Here's your 50, your 618. A lot of people say if it gets down past 618, it's turning. It's going to go completely down. So that's how you're using the fib tool. And you can use it on each swing up. Doesn't matter what time frame. We're here on a 3 minute. You can go down to a 1 or whatever. But this would be your next sweep up. So it pulled back. It turned at that 38.2% level. It's extended here, a little move up. If you're late in the game coming, you're drawing it from the low to the high right there. And you're looking for it to turn at one of those levels. So it would extend to the right and be like that. And basically on that move, see how it's pulled back. And if you look at the fib levels, it pulled back to the 618 level on it. So again, we just haven't had pushes off of it. But what I like using it, if you're going to use it, is when the signals come. That's your move. Your move up, typically your swing. So, and then of course we've just changed that over to the profit target tool. So I don't like where things are set now. Of course, with Trump speaking and everything. Oh, Candace, good. Yeah, it's hard. And trust me, I've done that too. Where I've watched someone else trading and we used to do it in the trade room back in the day, because I had other people that would come in and they would be trading something and we'd be like, huh? And sometimes they'd take a loss on it and we would take, gains on it. And then other times we would take the loss and they would, be in the positive. So gold's just not popping for me. Some people get out of these. I don't tend to do that. I do it once in a while. But if you're scalping, I do it if I'm scalping. If I see an entry and I think it's a good entry on a scalp, signal's there, I'll take it. If it doesn't pan out in a few minutes, that it's popped to where I can close partial, then yeah, sometimes I'll close those out. And I'm taking less of a loss if it's in the negative. So like gold right now, it is back and forth on my order. It is nothing but back and forth. Platinum. Platinum did me okay today, but nothing really to speak. I am not writing home about platinum today. What we get, $50 on the day? So nothing to write home on. It's back at that low. We'll see. But again, with gold, it's just beating back and forth on my order. I am gonna move the order over on it. I've been shifting my orders to the right for you guys, or left for you guys, so they're not. When I go to small screen, it's not blocking the candles for you, so you can keep more candles on the chart. But when I look at them, blow them up, I like them to be there. But you'll see I'm definitely in between these. The high here and an old one over here that was a high from back here, where this was consolidated. That line's, still pretty much held up. So it's back and forth on my order. So I'm sitting here going negative, positive, negative, positive. Right now I'm positive. I was negative. So right now it's in that sideways, sideways movement where we definitely have a high and a low, and it's bouncing in there, and it's wicking, above and below. Because if I had it marked here on the candles, it's going back and forth. Candles are closing, between these two levels with the wicks going through above. So right now, and sometimes I'll draw it like this, where I'm doing that as my high-low. So I don't have to come in and draw a line, and that's going to be my high-low to break. So if you see that on the chart, that's all that is I'm using the box tool instead of drawing these two, the high-low lines. Okay, and that's just, hey, we're in sideways movement between a high and a low. We're waiting on that to break one way or another. If you go down, of course, to 1 minute, you're going to see the swings in there. So I can't do anything about what it does after I get in. I just have to look at the chart and see what I'm seeing. I like that so to me, it's still printing higher highs and higher lows. You can definitely see that we have a high, higher high, higher high, higher high. That's great for my buy position. It's still printing higher highs. Is it printing higher lows? Low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and then a lower high. That's not good for my buy position. Okay? So it could break out at the bottom of this. Now, if it starts to pull down, if I get a sell signal, then I'll bail on the trade. I'll close it. Because I'd rather, if it starts coming down and gives me a sell signal anywhere in here, I'd rather close out on the sell signal than let it come all the way back down here. I place my stop for a reason here. I place my stop below the low to get in. And if it doesn't go for me, if it goes for me, I'm fine taking that loss if it pulls back. But I'm not, right now everything's bullish, right? We had a buy signal. We're printing higher highs. This is a lower low, which isn't good for us, but it's a wick low. The bodies of the candles turn there. So it's still the same low, but because the candles are turning, if you're ignoring the wicks, well, then it's a higher low. Every one of them is a higher low if you're just watching. So on the 1 minute, you got to kind of be careful because some people choose to ignore the wicks on a 1 minute because it is a 1 minute. But if you go to a 3 minute, it still looks like it's printing higher lows. So it kind of gets confusing there a little bit. But ultimately, with the signal indicator down here, printing all green still down in this area, well, I'm gonna hold right now and hold my buy position. So I'll stay in. However, if I get a sell signal, then I'm closing. And I would hope, here's one thing I would hope. I would hope that I actually get the sell signal before it hits my stop. If I get a sell signal, then I can close out my long position. And I would hope that would happen before it hits my stop, because then I'm taking a smaller loss. So don't be afraid to bail on your trades. Don't back your stop up. I'm not going to back my stop up as it dry. If I get a sell signal on gold, I am not going to back my stop up hoping, and praying that it's going to change its mind and turn and give another buy signal. Because by the time that's said and done, you've backed your stop up, and you'll get into a $400 loss, $500, $1,000 loss, and lose back everything we've worked hard on the day for. So we'll see. If it does do another push up, I'm thinking of actually closing out partial before it gets up there. So we do have it. I'm going to move the box out of the way. Actually, no, the box is off that wick. So I have to, there. I have to decide where I'd want to close some out if I want to close. So right now, again, I got in this trade as a day trade. It is not panned out. Now that I got it on big screen, I'll put the trades back on, the execution. Because we had the short trade over here, and then these were in the way. So closed out 2, that was from the short trade. Okay, sold here, Where'd we sell? Sold here. Sorry. Sold 4 here. Closed out 2. Bought back. Closed out. I'll have to go look at those trades. But on this trade, we bought 6. And I've been waiting. So we got in here on that bounce. And it's done nothing for me but go back and forth. So do I want to close partial out when it's in the positive? Do I want to close partial out now? I don't want to close it all because right now we're still in buy mode down here. We're still in long position, hold your long. So I don't want to close it out all of it. And I'd like to see it pull back up to here before I close out any. But right now it's having issues. Just more sideways. It's going flatter. So we'll see what happens. What I'd like to do is come up here and close some. We got 6 on, so we'll sell. We'll put 4 up here. I'm putting it up below this wick. I don't even know if it'll get that high. In order to see an actual, like, what does it look like up here? So again, we're on the 1 minute. I really don't know what did it look like up here, you know, during this, where this candle wicked. I don't remember. Did it push up, push back? Did it stay up in there for a little bit? I don't know. The only way for me to see that right now, on what happened that candle, is to come back here and go to a 15-second. Well, now I can see, where's my inside top? My inside top's like here. So that needs to be where my order is, on that inside top. And it about took it out, but didn't. So I'm setting, I had to drop to, again, the 15 or the 1 minute. I don't know what that looks like. So I don't know really where to set my limit order. So drop to a 15-second. I'm only dropping here not really to watch it or trade it, but just to figure out where I need to put my limit order. So I'm going to put my limit order to that inside top, because if it comes up and taps that and then turns, we're actually getting a lower high. So I'm putting it there, I'm leaving it there, and then we'll get what we get. And what do we say? We get what we get, and we don't throw a fit. And I'm not looking to get anything else. It's 11:30 almost. So this is the last one we've got to manage here. I can move the stop up some. Let me go back. Yeah, my stop's way out. So I'm going to move my stop up some. Keeping it. I'm going to give it that room in case it comes down to test these. That one last ditch effort to break the short. You got to decide on kind of how tight to go. There's no rule of thumb. You know, whether you go, I never want to put it like right to the wick, because if it wicks down, it's going to take me out. So I'll give it a little bit of room. It's up to you. You have to decide how tight you want it. The looser it is, the more you're going to get back. And that's how I'd like to, you know, leave it set up right now. Hopefully it'll pop up and make another run up there. And now we can always switch back to the 1 minute on it to watch it. The 15-second was just to find that inside top. So oil's been the trending one of the day. Nasdaq ES broke out good for me. You know, they both went and profited on both, and then they've just gone sideways. We're starting to get mixed signals on ES. We had sell and then back to a buy into a sell, but Nasdaq flipped over to sell. We never did get a buyback signal, so they might start dropping. Oil, the one I didn't trade, just took off without me. And then, of course, platinum. No Bitcoin today. And I'm okay. You look back at the chart going, I'm okay with that. You look at Bitcoin. And oil's just the missed opportunity of the day. And again, if I get a sell on gold, I'll close. What are we on gold? Negative 72 on gold already. So right now where gold's at, if I closed out the whole thing, it would be 8.15 on the day. So this one doesn't look like it's going to pan out. It's wicking below. We'll see. And never get mad, never revenge trade. So this is the last one I've taken, and I'm not looking to take any more. Now this afternoon, I might look to get in a few things. We've had some afternoons where the indices have trended kind of nicely. The yen. Got CPI tonight on the yen. Tomorrow we don't have, let me double check this. Looking at news for tomorrow. Yeah, we really don't have any news for the US dollar tomorrow. It's Canadian dollar. We have retail sales. 8:30. So nothing for the US. So it'll be a little different day trading tomorrow because of that. Because we don't have news on the US dollar. And we had a pullback on the Canadian dollar, so I just got taken out of my runners. I did post the Canadian dollar trade out there this morning in the Discord. Those are my big money trades on those. But that's all done on MetaTrader. This TradingView platform's way better than MetaTrader ever was. 11:30 alarm. Oh, I'm looking MC. I see that was on 4-hour bounce. So almost stopped down on gold, and then it decided to go back up in the positive for a little bit. Now back in the negative. They're really sideways. So this, again, this is one of those where, guys, I'm going to pop this. It is a V8 juice. Just so you know. Don't want anyone thinking it's not. Oh, where's my charting? Sorry, guys. There we go. I must have minimized them. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, see? V8 juice. Didn't want someone thinking it was something else when I popped the can open. So again, on something like this where it just goes flat, it just sideways, you have to decide, are you going to stay in it? Or would you rather just be out and be done? We're getting both ES and Nasdaq breaking their lows. Which trade? Some people are posting out, like MC's got some posts going in the general area. Sunday nights I'll post charts for the week, like how so every weekend I go in and I'll take and open up a chart, and I'll go out to the 4-hour time frame, and then I'll draw 4-hour zones and support and resistance levels and trend lines off the 4-hour charts. That way we're trading with the higher time frame. So there I was taking out on gold, and I'll have to go look, and I need to close this other order. So out of gold, I'll have to go pull the report. Well, here's what we were overall. So 793.70, 794 on the day. So good day on it. Lost back some more on gold. I'll have to go back and look at the total, and I'll post the recap out there. Let me see something real quick. Let me see if I can do this. Hang on a second. All right, so there is and I don't think it'll let me drag it over. Yeah, it won't. It won't let me slide it over. It's still taking that as the end of the screen. I'll have to set up a different window that I can. This is taking the window and not my desktop. But basically, in the Discord, we have our day trading chat. That's where, just in general, everybody's popping. That's where the alerts come up for the YouTube. You'll have alerts like this letting you know stock market's getting ready to open or stock market's open. Sometimes I'll post my big trades out there. This was the one on the Canadian dollar. I took it over here on a bounce. This was from the 19th. So that was yesterday. So that was yesterday's trade. I just got taken out on a pullback. So that's what I was up this morning on it. And then normally if I'm in with like 40 on this, I close out 30. So if you see 40 where I've gone in, I close out 30. And I'm really looking for it to get to 10K before I close out 30. This one I let go a little longer. I'm letting them stretch longer and letting them go, trying to get up to 20K on them, and then close out 30. So 30 is 3/4 of the trade. MC had the trades in there from this morning. There's another one. This was a runner that MC had on. So sometimes we're posting in there. Most of the stuff goes in the day trade chat, but that was the runner from yesterday. So really, really good trade. Were entered and then just added a second position on the entry. So if they trend, then we're going to capture, a lot over time, and then ultimately the profit target tool. Basically, this profit target tool is what we're calling it. Is basically just the Fibonacci retracement tool modified on modified on. I'm trying not to close something out here. But where we've modified it on the trading view. Let's see here. There we go. I'm trying to find it here. I'll post a link to that in here in YouTube. So that link right there, and I don't know if you got that one or not, but that is that profit target tool. Basically, it's the Fibonacci retracement tool, just modified it. I modified it to give us profit targets. Because TradingView has, what do I want to say? They have the little position tool. but it doesn't show multiple targets. The premium trades, this is where we're doing recaps. Some of us are, of when we take trades, what they are. You'll see mine look like this a little bit. So I'll typically put what my target was. On this account I was trading, it was a $5,000 target. And then I'll post like if there was no trade. I did not count this Bitcoin trade. That Bitcoin trade, this was the 18th. So that Bitcoin trade where I got 7,400, I placed that trade the night before. So on the recaps, you'll see this one for the recap says morning trades. Those are only including the trades I took in the morning during the U.S. session. So I just put in there that I wasn't including the Bitcoin trade. So overall, though, on that day, I had 7,400, and then the total down here was 4,701. So over 10K on the day. I just didn't include Bitcoin because it was placed the night before. So then I'm putting in like how much it was, and then sometimes with the images. This was on an individual trade. So this was on the Bitcoin trade. So again, my daily target was 5K and I made over that. So 2,400 overage. That's our bonus on there. I did get you added. You should see the indicator. In TradingView. If you don't, let me know. I used to post in here all the time, but now that I'm using the indicator, so you can go back and look through these. If it has these trades with MetaTrader, those are through forex.com. That's a different account, so they're going to be bigger trades. So sometimes I'm putting on 10 contracts and closing out, 8 or 9. If I'm putting on 40, I close out 30. So like here's a trade where I put, what was it, say Australian dollar, March 4th, and put on 40 contracts. And you'll see right here's where it was when I decided to close. So it had come down here and it hit the previous low. So I was up 5,200 on 40 contracts. So I closed out 30. And when I closed out 30, this is the remaining 10. I'll look, Carly, on there for you, because you should, when you see it, can you guys see that? No, I got to go back to this. This is where this is kind of buggy. Sometimes it doesn't let me set back to my TradingView platform. Just bear with me. I don't know what it waits on because I could flip back and forth all day long on the web. But for some reason, when I try and switch back here, it won't do it. Let me see if I can go out to switch screens. There's Discord. See, it'll pop right back to Discord. There we go. It should show in your indicators here under personal. Anything you tag as or make as personal will be in there. So it'll be a power trader one. If you don't see it, which I don't think you do, because if you searched it, it should still come up. I'll go out and make sure you're on that here when we get done with the live, which we're about done. So anyways, I'm done with trading, but I'll make sure you get that. I'll send you a message. I'll go double check that, Carly, and send you a message on it. So again, I've got these set up a little bit tighter on the signals. Okay, I'll go in there and fix that. I have to go in here and fix it on this end. So good day, good on the day. What did I say I was up? 793.70, so about 794 on the day overall. So I think that's a great day. Again, on this account right here that I'm trading, I'm only looking for that 500 a day. So trading, looking at 6 instruments, really just looking to, what do I want to say? Just looking for $100 per trade. That's it. And then we let runners run in case things keep going. Well, nothing ran today except oil, and I wasn't in that. So I'm okay with that. And that's why I trade multiple instruments. We don't know when we come in and start trading in the morning. We have no idea what's going to trend, what's not going to trend for the day. You know, when we came in this morning, I had no idea that oil was going to break and run like that. Okay. I didn't get in on it because when it broke this morning after that buy signal, it just kept pushing up and up and up and up and up. And then it came back and pulled back, and that was the time to get in a second time and third, and I just ignored that and just didn't get in. Busy messing with the other stuff, and that's fine. So trading multiple instruments, you know, again, I set that daily goal. In this account, it's 500. In the other account, it's 5K for the day. There's nothing different. I'm doing things the same, but in the 5K account, I'm shooting for 10 times what I'm shooting for in this account. So this account's 500 a day. And you see me place like 5 or 6 contracts on an instrument. And you don't need a ton of contracts. You do if you're going to shoot for a small target. Well, we're not shooting for small targets. We're going to close partial when we get an opportunity to, because again, if you see profit, we need to take profit so we can make our daily goal. We can make money on the day. And then we let the runners go in case they trend. Well, if I would have came in here and placed a trade on all 6 instruments, well, then I'd be in oil right now still because it just kept trending. Well, I didn't take it. So the one thing, and I didn't take Bitcoin this morning. So out of all 6 instruments, the 4 I picked to trade today, none of them trended. ES and Nasdaq went up quite a bit, and that's where I made the biggest part of today, was through ES and Nasdaq. Well, the one thing that went and just trended, I wasn't in. You have to be okay with that. Pick the wrong thing. Now, am I going to come in tomorrow and say, you know what, I'm only trading oil? That's it. I'm going to trade oil because it trended yesterday. There is no way I'm going to come in and say that tomorrow, because there's no guarantee that oil will trend tomorrow or the next day or the next day. So again, this is why I watch multiple instruments. It's hard to do. It gets a little nerve-wracking sometimes till you get ready to do it. So I don't recommend everybody coming in and watching even 4 instruments to 6 instruments. I recommend doing 1, getting used to that, and then in getting your steps down. Once you have your steps down, go back in, and at that point, change things. One of the things for me is, as soon as I get a signal, like if I would have taken any of these, this short here on platinum. So let's say I had 5 contracts loaded up here, get a sell signal. I sell platinum, okay? I would come up and just hit the sell button, sell 5, sell 5. Then I come over here and I click on the plus sign, and I go and place a buy stop order, okay? And I can do that because it's a stop order. I wasn't going to sell 5 though at this point, but I would come in on that sell signal. I would come up here and hit sell 5. I would come in and click on this and hit my buy stop. The next thing I do is I come up here and adjust down to 3. That's my 3rd step. So there's 3 steps to me placing trades on this platform through this broker. Again, I guess there's 4 really. I'll preset my order up here to 5. So when I come in on the day, got 6 charts in, I'm going to come in and go, okay, on oil, I'm going to go 10 lots on oil today. On ES, I did 5 today. So I'm going to come in and set these up. 5 there and 5 there. Whoops. But I'm going to come set these up first thing in the morning. And then Bitcoin. And we might do just 5 on Bitcoin. So I'll come preset these. Okay, now I'm preset. You're ready to go. You're ready to fire. So now something comes up, Nasdaq. I get a buy signal right here. I can come in and just boom, hit buy. So those are my steps though. So I preset the orders and I don't open the chart big. I'm set up right now that if I get, this buy signal on Nasdaq, if I wanted to take it, I would just hit buy and buy 5. I'm kind of just blowing it up for you guys. So you're not looking at the small chart. So again, I would hit buy right now. If you want, I'll hit buy. This account, I'll do it. So I'd hit buy. Second step I want to do is come in and I want to place a sell stop. My sell stop below the low. And then the third thing I want to do is come up here and drop down to 1 order or drop down 2. I want to close 3 or 5. If I do 5, I want to close 3 or 4 off. If I do 10, I'll close 8 or 9 off. So we're set. So at this point, all I have to do is when it goes into a profitable position, I just have to hit sell to close off my partial. It's already preset to 3. So those are my steps. That's what I do. And I do that on every instrument. So if I come in and I want to sell, you'll see me do that. If I wanted to buy oil right now, I would buy 10. I would come in and hit this and sell, do a sell stop. And then I would come in here is the next step and boom, drop it down to 8, ready to close. Ready to close. Because I want to close that partial out. So you're back in copper again. How have the signals been working on copper overall? I mean, I've seen your trades on it. I just wondered overall if you'd look back to see what they kind of look like. So now, now I'm sitting there ready to close on, ES. And we have a pretty tight stop on it. But that's how I do it, to set them up to close. So I'm hoping to kind of speed that up. Because when you're scalping, even those steps take a little bit of time on a scalp move. All right. All right, so guys, hope you enjoyed today. Again, we're up on the day. I don't know if I'll stay in this Nasdaq trade because I really just put that on to show the steps of trading. So I'm going to close it out right now as it's dropping back because I don't want to hold that any deeper than what it's already gone back. So yeah, we'll be back. Tomorrow there's no news on the US dollar. So expect it to be a little bit different trade. We don't have news tomorrow, and then Trump is not speaking tomorrow. So and nor is Powell. So when the president speaks, things the market reacts, and Powell speaks, same thing. So when those two speak, you're going to get movement in the market. So you have to be kind of careful because it can create, volatility. Volatility is not a bad thing. Volatility means that volume stepped in. And just keep those things in your mind. You can never forget that in order for something to move, we can get in things all day. I mean, look at what gold did. Gold sat sideways. After it moved up, it just went sideways for the rest of the morning. So I was sat in that, was up in the positive, down the negative, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So there's just no volume in there. There's no volatility. There's nothing to move it. There's no momentum. So it just moves sideways. So we need volume to step in. As I sit here and trade every day, I want to make profit. If I get in something long, I need it to move up to make money. If I get in something short, I need it to move down to make money. Well, where's that move going to come from? It's not going to come because I placed my little 10 contract trade or 40 contract trade. That's not what's going to move it. It needs the big boys to step in. It needs the market makers to step in, the hedge fund managers, the guys that are trading with multi-millions and billions of dollars. That's what it takes. It takes countries. Countries trade. The big banks trade. You'll see the big 7. Countries trade. Corporations trade. Okay? Corporations do business with countries or businesses in other countries. So GM, I've seen purchase contracts between GM and a company in Japan move the yen, move the Japanese yen, and just in all of a sudden, quick move on the Japanese yen. Why is this happening? It's a purchase. GM buys, and I don't care what company it is, but when they go to buy brakes that are made in Japan, they're not placing a small order, are they? No, they're placing a huge order. That company in Japan, guess what they don't want? They don't want paid in our US dollars. Believe it or not, the Japanese company wants paid in the Japanese yen. They don't want paid in US dollars. Guess what has to happen for GM, I just use that as an example, to buy brakes from the Japanese company? If they don't want the US dollar, they take Japanese yen. What does GM have to do? They have to exchange the US dollar for the Japanese yen. What does that do to the exchange rate? It moves the exchange rate because it is a huge order, huge amount of money. Those kind of moves, those kind of transactions can move the market. Those are the ones that all of a sudden out of nowhere, something happens. Now, this is more in the Forex market. You'll see this. It's not going to be in futures. You're going to see it more in Forex. You might see the moves on the futures part of the Forex side, the currency futures. But on the spot Forex market, there'll be big moves. So sometimes those just spur on and come out of nowhere. So the biggest thing is just to obviously get your money and get in and get out and make your money for the day. I'm watching Bitcoin actually Bitcoin gave a sell signal, guys. Everything's red. I'm going to go ahead and wait for a pullback. We had a pullback and bounce, and it is at a previous low. I'm not going to switch to the charts, but I'm looking to maybe take that for the day. So I might add that on today's day. So hope you enjoyed the live. But anyways, we'll be back. I'll do live tomorrow. And then look for, I'm going to start adding some nights. I was going to do it this past Monday, but Tyler had a baseball game, and it was his first one, so I didn't want to miss it. So I will be doing some scalping at nights, and then we might do some scalping during the day. But during the day, I like this pace. It's pretty easy to keep up because when I scalp trade, we're looking to only be in for a few minutes in and out. It is nerve-wracking. I don't watch 6 pairs like this. I normally drop down to like 3. I do 4 once in a while, but I don't do 6. I'll pick 4 instruments and trade those 4, and that's my max. And sometimes I even drop down to 3 or 2 and just say, these are the 2 I'm going to scalp, and that's it for the session. I'm not doing any more than that. So hope you enjoyed today. Things will be out in the Discord, and I'll get that set up for you on TradingView and send you a text message. All right? So we will talk to you later.